Feel it in the darkness. We're sailing right into those jagged cliffs. Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change. Turn the ship another way. Feel it in the darkness. We're sailing right into those jagged cliffs. Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change. Turn the ship another way. Feel it in the darkness. We're sailing right into the...
Good morning and welcome back to the channel, Grand Columbia. Welcome to another Coffee Time Live. I don't know if you can hear me, but here I be. I've got Juka, greetings from Finland. Thank you for your contribution. I have no way to show it on screen at the moment. Charles, hola, buenas tardes from New York City, returning September to Monteria. Mike Jarvis, how you doing, Mike? Turtle, good morning from beautiful downtown Socorro. Would somebody please tell me that you can hear me? See me, feel me. Please, please, please. Don't want to go on unless, look at all you people. You're all on YouTube. Get off YouTube. Get to Rumble. I'm broadcasting from Rumble. Audio good. Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Owen, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So today is interim day. Today and next week, the 24th, are supposed to be trial runs for the new podcast format. Problem is, the camera that was supposed to come in is late. And so I couldn't do a trial run today. So today I'm just kind of winging it. What I'm doing is I'm trying out some of this Rumble software. Now, I had an option to put chat on the screen. The problem is I'm going to have to do a background for it because it's all washed out. That's easy enough. It's just new to me. And sound good, clearly, awesome. And let's see. All right. I do have a bunch of stuff today to talk about. As I find my way through here. All right, let's get to the usual. The best I could set it up. I think it'll work. Hey, look at that. A little bit different. Today's temperature is 76 degrees, high of 85, low of 62, and the exchange rate is 4,029. Still staying over 4,000, but every day it seems to go down like a couple centavos. So there's that. And to take a look outside. Oh, God, that camera's so bad. It's actually stunningly gorgeous today. It's crystal clear. You can see for miles. You might even notice with this bad camera, you can see the tops of the mountains, and usually they're covered in clouds. So it's very nice. It's also very green. This is all faded and washed out. But, yeah, what can I say? So we'll see if we can get rid of that. All right, let me exit out of that. And let me come back. All right, so what do we got? This week, I've been running ragged. It's been a week. I've had a family of 4 that came, who I've talked to a number of times prior, but they They came to Armenia and they had a bucket list that they wanted to get done. And we had 5 full days and a half a day to accomplish it. So let me show you here. You see, the chat comes up. I can see YouTube. I also, if you're on locals and you sent me a message, it would show me that. If you're on Facebook, it would show me that. And if you were on Rumble, it would show me that. And if you're on X, it would show me that, because all of those are being broadcast to right now. Quick, can you hear the siren or not? Tell me, say yes siren or no siren. Yeah, this is all, it's all torn up. See, I even have some things missing off the wall. And I got this little thing over here. Speaking of, that's fermented tabi. This is geisha washed. This is, what is this? Oh, pink bourbon washed. Typica. A different bourbon rosado. Yes, siren. Oh, you could hear the siren. Okay. Well, it's good to know. All those things I had you protected from, you can hear now. Here's another tabi, a different one from a different farm. And this is yellow tabi that's also fermented. What am I going to do with all these coffees? I'm going to have to invite a whole bunch of people over to get it drunk before it's spoiled. You guys, you got to get off YouTube, because you know what's going to happen when they throttle the stream and you're getting all those herky jerkies and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to have to sit back and say, I told you so. Now I could see 4 people have jumped over to Rumble. Yeah, I could see. I'm seeing it. And somebody's on locals. That really surprises me. Nobody's on X and nobody's on Facebook. Don't blame you. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the towns we went to, let's see, Salenta, Cocoro, Pueblo Tapao, El Aden, Pareda, Santa Rosa, and Calarca, to do all the things that we were going to do. Rumble is running behind YouTube. Oh, okay. Is it? I don't know how that's possible, because it's being originated in Rumble. There is a pause. I'm not sure how that would work unless I did something in the setup. I have to figure out Rumble. Yeah. Well, they have this software is actually a beta software that they just brought out recently. And I've been trying it last week in my test run. And today I'm trying it to see if this will work for me, because if it will, it's so much simpler than all the setup that I had. It'll probably cut 2 hours out of my setup for coffee time. That's pretty substantial. I spent hours setting up for every week. This, I can probably cut it down to 2, maybe 3, maybe even less. All right. So, looking, see if there's any rhyme or reason to the colors there. I don't seem to be, except the Rumble is green. All right. So we went to those towns, and these are the things we did. Zip lining, went to the coffee park, the amusement park, thermal springs, thermales, paragliding, and horseback riding. Let me, because we're trying to try this out anyway. Let's take a look at this. It's about 2 minutes. Was that? All right, let's see. I accidentally double click that. We'll see if I can not do that from now on. Oh, something I wanted to run by you guys. I actually can monetize, collect money if I get enough viewers, which is going to be tough because we're kind of interim right now. But if you were on my test run, you know that I discovered it as we were talking, and I've looked into it. By the way, is HD chillin' on here? If you are, please say something. What there is are scripts that I could pull up right now, as a matter of fact. There's one, US Comics, and I'm eligible for it right now. So if I read the script, I'll get paid something. Kingstone Comics, same thing. If I read the script, I'll get paid something. Patriot Addict, what the heck is that? I don't know what that is. But if I read the script, I'll get paid something. And then I got a whole bunch more here that I don't have enough viewers yet. Rumble. Positive. Don't know what these are necessarily. Oh, more people joined and a whole bunch of them just turned on. So it looks like these are probably 20 to 30 seconds read. And I'm curious to know how annoying that would be if I pause mid streaming here and do a 20 or 30 second commercial. What is what it boils down to. I've got to read the thing, and it's not all that complicated, but it might be a good thing. I appreciate all you guys that contribute, but you probably noticed in the chat, they've kind of fallen off and nowhere near as many. And I do have to earn a certain level of money each month to support the things that I have to do for this. So let me know what you think about it. I mean, if everybody's dead set against it, then I won't do it. Let's see. Coleman, how do you comment on X? Don't know, can't look right now. I'm sure there's a way. You tell me. So you're seeing what? Are you seeing it live on X? Are you actually seeing it running? Edward, Coffee Amusement Park 2 weeks ago. Fair chances you can get a Panama hat made in Armenia outside the entrance. Those aren't Panama hats. Those are made in Colombia. Panama hats are made in Ecuador, not Panama. And if you ever want me to tell you the story, I think I've told it before. I'll tell you the origin of the Panama hat. Good morning from Los Angeles. How you doing? Look at all these YouTube people. Get off YouTube. Get on Rumble. I actually see on Rumble, it actually matters. If you like and subscribe, I think they call it something other than join maybe, or follow, whatever that is, it will actually make a difference. There's some things I can't do until 50 or 100 people are following, subscribing, which isn't very much, but I don't have that yet. You know, it's brand new, and I think I got a 17 or something. So it actually matters. Do it. Read. I'm inclined to at least try it, Coleman. You know, I think it makes sense. So it takes some pressure off, I believe. But I need to hear from HD Chillin'. If you're on, please, 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 or send me an email or something. All right. So that's what we did. It was nonstop. It was very busy. Let me show you. I told you that I'm going to be I got a business license to officially do like tours, and I'm still working on putting it together. Like I say, I was busy all week, worked all night on the coffee thing, and just exhausted. I still haven't recovered. You know, can I say I'm old and feeble? You know? But the name that I had to submit a few names because everything was taken. So I came up with this. It is not taken. Well, it is now. Tell me what you think. Not very original. Oh, you can't see it because the chat's there and the chat's covering it up. All right, let me see if I can do something here on the fly. Let's try this. Hey, there we go. Look at that. I moved it over to the other side. So what do you think? The name's available. When it comes to anything to do with tour in Colombia, every iteration that you can imagine has been taken. So curious to know what you think about that. All right. As to the podcast, I have lined up right now 4 guest hosts. So that's pretty cool because it's hit and miss. I mean, people can't be available every single Sunday. I mean, only an idiot like me would do that. So I need a few to cover that. William Hutch, good morning. How you doing? Look at him. He's on Rumble. Read the commercials at the end. Then I can jump off when you start. Yeah, if I do it, it's got to be somewhere where it's actually going. They're not stupid. They're not going to pay you if you do it after everybody's gone. As a matter of fact, they pay you based on how many people are actually on to see it. So, you know, if I do that, there's no point in doing it. As a matter of fact, what it'll do is if you don't have a certain amount, then you won't get paid for that ad anyway. So if it falls off, like now, it would work. But at the end, when everybody's logging off, it'll fall below that threshold and there's no point in doing it anyway. So anyway, Ben Lake, buenos dias. The print's a little small. I always had it a little larger so I could read clearly. So that's different. Gringo Tours. I'd be good with that. I actually even thought of that, except most people in the United States don't understand the term gringo, and they think of it as it's used in Mexico and some other places in the world. And so they see it as a derogatory term or an insult or something. It's not how it's used in Colombia. It's perfectly fine here. I've had people, because I use the term all the time, and let's say us gringos or something like that. And I've had people, oh, what do why are you saying these, I don't know, racial, whatever, because that's not what it is. So, yeah, I mean, coffee time tours is pretty good, particularly since there's going to be some coffee farm tours. All right, what else we got? Oh yeah, on the podcast thing here, a potential feature. What do I have here? Oh yeah, I covered that. The YouTube and X and Facebook and locals and all that. Live chat. Will it show on the screen? Yes, I have the answer, but I'm going to have to put something back there. So that's good to know. Ads, I've covered that. I get through this and I can get to the actual stuff I want to talk about. Coffee update. I don't know. If you want to hear an update, I can tell you. September 1st is a target date pretty much for everything. I'm killing myself trying to get everything done for September 1st. Went to a coffee farm yesterday and try to work out some deals, see if we can finalize by this Wednesday. Hopefully, if we can pull that off, then I can actually have the website going and things up for sale. Speaking of website, this is not done, but in case you're curious, it looks like this. It'll change a lot, but this is it. The bag design is different, but you have to throw things in to create the basic spaces or spots that you want, and that's what most of this stuff is. They're placeholders. Okay, let's see. The car. It was rough on the car. They wanted to go to Thermal Springs. Cool. And he mentioned to me, this was in a Skype call before they came. And he says, I see the first one, and I hear that one's really crowded, that I should go to the one that's furthest away. And I said, well, yeah, you're going to have people there, but it's because it's freaking awesome, right? But he wanted the one furthest away. All right, no problem. So the closer one is about 25-minute drive from Santa Rosa. And then there's one further out from that. It's about a 35-minute drive, maybe, from Santa Rosa. And then there's one, it's the Vicente one, that is, it says 45 minutes, it's about an hour, and there's hardly any road. When you saw me hit that bump and then that woman fleeing for her life, that was the best part of that road. It turns into mud, it's up and down, and part of it is like a rock climb. And I tore out a CV shaft, got one on order. So I'm replaced both at the same time. So I decided that. So I have a mechanic lined up. It's actually very cheap for labor, and Amazon had them. It's expensive to ship it than it is to buy it. So they were, but altogether it was a little bit cheaper than getting it here. So a week from Monday, they come in and I'll get that done. Kind of my fault, but then again, it's not a new vehicle. So, who knows what kind of wear and tear a used vehicle has. So there's that. All right, I got a few news things and I got a couple things here, but before I get to that, I have to eat some humble pie. Chat's still working? Kind of usually get a lot more chat. All right, I've been here 6 years now, and I've been driving about 4 years, rental cars, etc. And people ask me all the time about the police and corruption and like that. And I go through road checks. I've never experienced it. Now, I know what some of you are going to say, but I can only talk for me. Never experienced it. So where were we? Went through a road check. I don't remember where it was. And they pulled me over. Now, you have to understand, I've got a big Ford Edge. Here, it's big. It's black. Everything's blacked out. The grill's blacked out. No chrome. It's got very dark windows. You can't see into it. It's like one of those vehicles you'll see on TV where you're either the CIA or you're some drug runner. Well, oh, and to make it worse, it's got Cali license plates. So I'm driving around with this huge neon arrow pointing at me. So I went through 2 road checks. I got pulled over in both road checks. Normally, most people go by. I can't say I stopped a couple times, but almost always I would get waved through. Within a couple days, they got me. What website design software to use? WordPress. So it kind of sucks, but it's a long story. So anyway, I go in the road check, and they check out my my license, all my paperwork, and they wait. Oh, it's in Pereira. And so they send me on my way. Cool. Awesome. Coming out of Salento, and my headlights are not functioning. I know what it is. That's going to get corrected too. They work. They just don't light anything up. There's a story to everything. So I'm pressed for time because the sun goes down at 6 o'clock and it's about 5:45, and I've got about a 25-minute ride ahead of me. So I'm a little panicked because we were delayed before I could head back. So road check, pull over. Now I got a bad CV joint. He keeps directing me further off the road and over these bumps, and it's like, come on. And I don't want to do it because I don't want to twist the shaft and it can't go anywhere. You know, it's clunking pretty good. So I delicately pull somewhat where he directs me. So he comes over, rolls down the window, and he's all smiles, and he looks in and he says, he wants the license and paperwork and stuff. So I give it to him, and that's all good. And then he wants the back windows rolled down. And there's 3 people in the back, 2 in the front, 3 in the back. So I put the window down, and he looks in, and he goes around to the other side, window down. He looks in, he pulls out his ticket book, and he comes back around. Now, normally it's easier for me to just say, no hablo español. And you kind of get a pass. But in this case, he's going to write a ticket. So I might as well speak a few words. So I'm kind of busting his chops, making a little joke. And he was smiling. He was taking it all in good graces. But he says he's going to write the ticket. And I said, well, it's my first one. I've never had a ticket before. And my wallet's empty and da-da-da-da. So he says, come on out of the car. So, okay. So we go to the back of the car. And he tells me that the fine would be in Armenia, or I could pay him there. So here's the thing, and I want your feedback on this. I truly do. So even if you never wrote in chat before, I want you to write in chat this time. Please, I'm asking you. So what do I do? What's the moral? What's the ethical thing? Do I give him the 100,000 pesos that he's suggesting to me? $25. Or Do I tell him to go ahead and write the ticket and I'll just do it that way? Call his bluff, go pay the ticket. Go. Write in the chat. I want to see what you think I should have done. And then I will tell you what I did. Come on, make sure the chat's working. Nobody's answering yet. Please, please. Please, please. I struggled with it. So tell me what I should have done. Nobody's writing. 31 on YouTube, 15 on Rumble. I got locals, X, and Facebook isn't saying anything. I wonder if I actually clicked on Facebook. Pay $25. The sharp guy. Anyone else? I met the same guy leaving Salento. His bite was $50,000. Yeah, well, I got a big Ford Edge with tinted windows. Tell him you'll pay in Armenia. Next one. So 2 to pay him, I'm assuming, and 1 to take the ticket. Does anyone know the cost of the fine for not wearing or having your passenger not wearing a seatbelt? Pay the officer. I would pull out $40,000. Well, I only had $100,000 bill in my wallet, so him asking $100,000, and that's all I had in there anyway. So that wasn't really an option. All right. I don't know if there's a lag. Pay the officer. Support with that's Stream Elements on YouTube. I didn't turn that off. I probably should. Pay. All right, here's the deal. If you're caught and your passenger doesn't wear a seatbelt, it's 300,000 pesos per passenger. So that would have been 900,000, almost 1 million pesos had he written a ticket and I paid it in Armenia, or 100,000 there. Here's the thing, and this is what I determined a long time ago for myself. If I've actually done something illegal, if I've done something wrong, then I'm going to take the easiest way out of that. If I haven't done anything wrong, in this case, if he just made something up, I had already made up my mind I would take the ticket. But sitting there, I've done wrong and I can get on with my life and I don't have to wait for the time of the ticket, I'll do that. The bonus was, because it's per incident and with 3 passengers, the bonus was I was going to save a lot of money. But my decision was actually made before I even got out of the car as to what I would do. All right, I already screwed up. I didn't tell them to fasten their seatbelts. We did in the front, but to be honest, we did in the front because if you don't, it'll go beep, 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 drive you crazy. So now I know, you got to wear your seatbelts. And Beg's saying you don't have more. Well, I wouldn't have had more. What's the normal cultural thing to do? The normal cultural thing to do, based on one conversation I had with somebody who's been driving 12 years, I think, maybe, no, it'll be more now, about 15 years. He does it the way I just described what I would do. If he actually did something wrong, he'll take the easy way out. If he hasn't done anything wrong, if they're just hassling him, he'll take a ticket. If they're not offering you a ticket, I don't know what to tell you. I haven't experienced those things, but I finally actually experienced this kind of thing. Now, there was one time before, wholly different circumstance, and I wasn't driving. That was over my passport, illegal in the country. and it was give them some money or get dumped off at the border, and that's what they do. So it would have been a disaster for me. Pay, save time, pay the cop. I would have given the cop a buñuelo. You know, I was going to do that, but I was fresh out. See, the thing is, I'm doing this carnivore thing, trying to get rid of my health inflammation issues so I don't have heart and lung and all that stuff collapsing and have to rush off to the emergency room. So I can't eat buñuelos right now. We'll see how this goes. I've been on it for a month, and there's actually some positive signs. So we'll see. All right. What else we got here? All right. Bit of news. Let me move this out of the way. And let's go here. Look at that. Video. Woman wanted by Interpol for human trafficking was captured in Armenia. In a joint operation led by troops from the 8th Brigade of the National Army, a 30-year-old foreign woman was captured in Armenia, Quindio. She's accused of being one of the leaders of the transnational human trafficking network. This criminal organization operated in Colombia, Venezuela, Portugal, and the United States, and influenced in municipalities in Quindio such as Armenia, La Tebaida, and Calarca. The woman, who was a fugitive from justice, was wanted internationally through an Interpol red notice. Her capture was achieved after extensive intelligent work that allowed her to be located in a neighborhood, the capital of Quindio. That would be here, Armenia, where she lived while coordinating the illegal activities of the network. Does it say where she's from? In reality, she was involved in human trafficking for sexual exploitation, organized crime, other serious crimes such as promoting prostitution. Wasn't that the same thing? I don't know. Conspiracy to commit witness tampering and facilitating criminal activity. They must do double and triple charges here also. Never mentions where. Wait. What's this say? The criminal network to which the woman belonged had already been hit by the authorities in previous months, with the capture of 4 of its members who are currently awaiting trial. Investigations reveal that members of this organization operated brothels in New Jersey, United States, where they forced minors and women to perform. Yeah. So I guess she's from the U.S., or it sounds like it, and living here. Now, the good news of this is, how would they know that? Because they're active. The police are active here. They're actively trying to ferret out crime and corruption. Now, when you say, wait a minute, didn't a cop just shake you down? And can't we call that corruption? Absolutely. That's transito. That's a traffic cop. They're a different branch. Transito is not the actual police. They have authority, but it's limited authority. So think meter maid. That's what I think of. All right, what's the next one? Coffee Access, one of the most beautiful destinations to visit. Yeah, I can't argue with that. As 2024, what the heck? Wait, let me look. Yeah, this is yesterday. As 2024 rapidly approaches, this is translated, so who knows what it, Colombia continues to reaffirm itself as a dream tourist destination. Astonishing landscapes, fascinating history, that it does. And wish to explore the best of the country. The Coffee Access stands out as an unmissable gem. The region encompasses Caldas, Quindio, Risaralda, and Tolima. That would be Manizales, Pareda, Armenia, and Ibagué, the heart of coffee production in Colombia. Let's see. Salento, Cocora Valley, ecotourism. thermales, thermal springs, yeah, all that good stuff. So next, what do we have here? I need an ad blocker. Why? If you're on YouTube and they run ads, I don't know on Rumble, honestly. I don't know if they might have the same situation where you have to pay a couple dollars a month to get a premium so you don't have ads. YouTube, they run ads. Oh, I got you. Ad blockers for the web page. Yeah, well, it's you're looking at what I look at. All right, what's next? Preparations in Armenia to face the second rainy season and possible disasters. This is just a reminder. This article reminds me of living in upstate New York when winter's coming. And on the TV news channels, they'll have little segments here or there to remind you to keep in your trunk extra water. It will freeze. A blanket, maybe an extra jacket, some food, because you can get snowed in and end up stuck for 2 or 3 days. And so they recommend that. Bottle with a big neck so you can pee in it. So here we have Armenia is preparing for the second rainy season of the year. There's an entire office out of the mayor's office for this. They're stressing the importance of following certain recommendations to face this stage without problems. The second phase of rains is usually more intense due to the impact of the hurricane season in the Caribbean. Plus, this year we have the La Nina going on, so you got a double whammy. That's why, well, it says 60% probability of occurring at the end of the year, the La Nina. And so it'll be more rain than would typically be during that time period. Fix your beams and gutters and roof. Avoid tampering with the slopes to prevent landslides. In the event of strong winds, because it can get more windy during that time, secure the roof of homes, prevent rainwater from running in, et cetera, et cetera. All right. What else we have here? Oh, I got a comment. I don't know if you can read this. This is, thank you for the great info. Yeah, here we go. Somebody named Woody Reyes. Thank you for the great information. Also, is it hard to get a driver's license? I don't read in Spanish. I did a video a couple years ago about getting driver's license. So you can put driver's license in the search and you'll find it. I think it's in Rumble too. But you don't have to read Spanish. And if you're over, well, that's for citizenship. They have classes. I just had to sign in and sign out because if you already know how to drive, what I had to do, they actually did it on WhatsApp, but they're not doing that anymore. So I would check in on WhatsApp, check out on WhatsApp. I didn't have to go to the office. They're making you go there now, from what I've been told by a number of people. And I didn't have to, all I had to do was one road test. You have about 20, 25 hours of classroom that you have to check in and out for. And the road test, I think it's 15 hours of practical driving, driver instructor, and you drive around. For the most part, if you drive around, you can demonstrate you can drive. They'll just keep signing you off. But so there's that. So that's all. That was just one question. I didn't want to type it in there, so I said I'll answer on today's coffee time. I was rushed. And what is this? Oh, I've been going over my merchandise page. There were two. I canceled the one because they're using a horrendous shipping company. And even though they've got infinitely more merchandise items, I decided to go with this company. I was signed up with this company 4 or 5 years ago. I've just never really done anything with it. So I've gone through and I've made up these things. I don't know, interested in feedback. So I've got cups of different types, Grand Colombia logo, Coffee Time logo. I've got Sharik Cafe. That's the actual coffee logo that'll be on the bag. And of course, I got T-shirts, straight out of Colombia, pink midriffs. You don't have to be female if you can, if you can sport that. And some people can pull things off. This duffel bag I thought was kind of cool, and this over here is one of those big long mouse pads. Any feedback on that? Let me know if you think I should have something or shouldn't have something. It doesn't mean you have to go buy something. But I'm trying to get all this set up so that it's kind of cohesive. And as I do these other projects like the coffee and the tour and thing, it'll all be coordinated. It's a chore. All right. Let me look at chat, and then I have one last item to talk about. Pay the cop. I would have given Buñuelo. I need an ad blocker. Hello, Lauren. It's good to see you again. Could you please share with us your thoughts about Manizales compared to Armenia? Thank you. The regulars are probably tired of me doing that, but I will quickly. I took the drive class, but they didn't ask me to take any tests. Yeah, they're pretty understanding. That for the most part, they understand that if you're from the U.S., there's a good chance you were driving from the time you're 15, 16, or 17, depending on your age. I got my license when I was 15. You could get it with 16, but if you took driver's ed in school, you could get it at 15. But the 15-year-old one, you couldn't drive after 9 o'clock at night. All right. So Manizales, what do we have? That chat that's all faded out. It's really bugging me. All right. So Manizales is a superior city. I love Manizales. I think if I didn't have the background in history that I have and my connections to Armenia, I would probably be living in Manizales. I think if you've got 10 different things, I think it's probably superior in 8 of them. It's a fantastic city. With a caveat, I would only live on 23, which goes from one end of the mountain to the other end. So it's all relative flat. You can walk for, Turtle, you're on there, what is it, 4 miles each way, 8 hours there and back, something like that. So I used to walk. It was awesome. It's more, I don't know what it is. People say a lot, they'll describe it as being European. That may be the case, but on 23, live your life on 23. You got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 big malls that are within a block or two are on 23. You've got Milan, which is that semicircle of fantastic world-class restaurants, international style, Chinese and Japanese and Arabian or Middle Eastern. Go down Mexican, you can go down the list. French, really nice French restaurant there. There's just so much going on there. Cheap Rate Park is awesome. So yeah, but I'm here because I'm more comfortable here. I like my life here. I like how the people are here. People here are more down to earth, more middle class, certainly more open. And when you're when you're a hermit like I am, you kind of need people to pull you out of that once in a while. In Manizales, very nice, friendly people, but it's very cliquish. And so if you're not part of that clique, and that doesn't mean gringo. If you're from Bogota, you're not part of that clique either. Then you're treated more formally. You're treated more politely, or you could almost say at arm's length. It's not because they're not friendly. They are very friendly. They're very helpful, but it's difficult to get to know them if you're a person like me, because I don't try generally. Here in Armenia, it falls in my lap. People will come up to me, they'll talk to me, and I end up making friends that way. I don't know. I don't know if I would have any friends if I was in Armenia. It's not that I'm afraid to do it. It's just I don't want to do it until I get to meet somebody and find out they're kind of cool and say, well, I'm glad that happened. But I won't initiate it because people bug me. It's amazing how often I'll meet people and find out they're really cool. Like this family, I never thought that they bugged me. It seemed very nice on the call, but you never know. I mean, we spent over I picked them up at the airport, and then 5 days, all day long, doing crazy things. Then the last day, we had a dinner together and went and then took them back to the airport. So that's 7 days in total. Usually my limit's like 2 or 3 days, and I'm climbing the walls. They were so nice that it was actually fun being around them. I mean, who knew? It just kind of not the way it generally worked. Juka, I'm assuming, finally in Rumble. Awesome. Manizales is more cosmopolitan. Yeah, you could probably say that. You know, people will say, here's part of why I think people will say, well, it's more European. Well, somewhat in flavor, but there's a misunderstanding. They call it a university town because it's got 7 main universities. Armenia has 7 main universities. So it's not more universities than Manizales. And Armenia is one that's famous throughout Colombia. It's a public university, University of Quindio. People from all over Colombia go to that university. And it has a huge curriculum. I mean, you can study to be a doctor. You know, it's all inclusive when it comes to topics, and it takes up a big part of Armenia. It goes on for blocks. However, in Manizales, you have some very well-known, established, and some expensive private universities. But I think where the European thing comes in is, for whatever reason, you have a lot of people from Europe that will come to go to a couple of those universities. One is actually they've got this big Catholic university. I forget the name of it, but it's pretty well known. And then there's another university that draws in a lot of people from Europe. And so, you know, it stands to reason that they're going to say it's European. But I also think it's the flavor in general. Where here, if I walk down the Centro, it's like all these little tiendas and like that. And there, it's all these, well, like clothing store. We have tons of clothing stores that aren't much bigger than the studio. And when you go to Manizales, you have clothing stores more like you'd see at a plaza in the United States. You know, they're big picture windows and, you know, really done up nice. And, you know, so there is a different flavor to it. Is Manizales substantially more expensive than Armenia? Very similar in cost, and I would say traditionally, just meaning in the past, Manizales was just a touch more. Armenia was one of the cheapest places. That's kind of changed. Armenia prices, the inflation that took place here, in some ways, it's actually kind of jumped out ahead of Pereira and Manizales. Ahead as in more expensive. Not everything, but it used to be it was cheaper than Pereira and it was cheaper than Manizales in most things. I can't really say that anymore. So there's that. Rents here, especially rents in the nice areas, have really taken a jump this past year. All right. Do we have any more questions? Let's see where we're at. Well, it's about time to leave. I want to put up on the screen. Where is it here? I'll go through a bunch of these things. If you have get your phone out and take a picture if you're interested. If you want to join Rumble, there is the sign up address. You can type that in. Of course, it'll say HTTP. That'll automatically do it for you. So you just put that in. The next one is my email. I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to send me comments about this new podcast thing that's going on, these businesses that I'm starting up, any kind of advice, any kind of comment, information, would definitely be appreciated. Again, there's my email. You can take a picture of that as well. If you do contributions, I wanted to get HD Chillin because he actually gave a contribution through Rumble and it showed up, but I need to verify something with him. I need to know if HD Chillin lives in Canada or not. I think he must live in Canada, but I need to know. If anybody knows where HD Chillin lives, please let me know. And let's see. No. That first one. Delete that picture. Today, I was contemplating asking one of you guys to go to that link and I could bring you into the program just to try how that works. That's what that is. That's the link to my live right now. But I decided not to do that because I had a lot of stuff here and I don't want to crash it right now. So another time. So if you want to sign up on Rumble, here's the link. So there's the link. Take a picture of that so you can register. I don't get paid for the register, but that's the link they gave me and it's got my name on it. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe you get some kind of monthly credit towards the I have to pay a fee every month to use Rumble. You don't, but I do. And so maybe it's an offset for that. I don't really know. And next week, maybe I'll try one of these ad reads and see what it comes up with. Let me look here. I believe if I were to read this one on the US comics at this moment, it would pay me $3.54. I don't know if that's per person, per 10 people, because it's minimum viewership. So I'm going to have to try it. Maybe next time we'll run a test on it so I can actually understand it a little bit better. Because some of they don't really tell you, and I actually would have to do it in order to know. All right. So, nice hat. Thank you. Hugo, thanks for the information. You're welcome. Believe it or not, that's what we're doing here. Have you heard anything more on the future of EPS? No, I've got it. I got to pay a bill before the middle of next month. But when was it? back last year when I culminated in being really sick, but for some reason I forgot about it and I didn't pay it for 5 months. And I go, oh my God, let me go back, check. So I go to the website and it's like all these didn't pay. So I paid them all online, one after another, one after another, one after another. They had never stopped. They never stopped the service or canceled it or anything like that. So that was wild. I'm not used to that, but I've been real good since then. Oh, there's my the padre of the family adventure. You're just tuning in now. I did a video clip for a couple minutes of some of the things you guys did. Um, you know, it was interesting to watch. The family was kind of freaking out over the zip line and particularly the paragliding. And there's a couple of them I don't think really wanted to do it. He convinced them to give it a try. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. Let's do it. Let's break those barriers. And he was afraid of heights, but he said, I'm doing a zip line, despite that. And they were overjoyed when they were done. And the one that really cracked me up, and I actually think I have it on a video clip, his daughter is very stoic. I don't think she said 2 words on the whole trip. But when it was over and she came back from where they were, she was laughing, she was giggling, and she was standing in one spot, jumping up and down. Like it was awesome. It was awesome to see that, and it was so different than the way she'd been. So whatever barrier was there got completely shattered with a paragliding trip. So that was very cool. Owen, I would imagine the $3.50 total amount they pay based on the number of current viewers. I think you're probably right, but some of the things that I read gives me confusion. So I don't know. I don't want to definitively say. It seems absurd that they would be paying $3.50 for 10 viewers or 50 viewers. It just doesn't seem like it would make sense. So I think you're probably right, but I don't know. So we'll run it next week and see what happens. William, I'm counting down days where I'll be visiting you in Armenia for 2 weeks. I have my room ready. No room. I don't have any rooms ready. And if you're coming and you want to hook up with me, make sure you send me an email because I'm really busy. And if I don't know you're coming and if I don't plan something, even if it's like to grab a coffee, there's a pretty good chance it won't happen. Not because that's what I'm trying to do. It's because I'm so freaking busy right now. I hope in September I can go back to being retired. I'm doing more. Well, let's see. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm putting in 16 to 18-hour days, 7 days a week. And that's why I need to have this deadline of September 1st. I'm exhausted. And this week, I'm going to have to sit in front of this computer screen working on websites for half of what I've got to do. So no problem, but send me an email. Oh, well, I'll see it on the rerun. Yeah, it's not your video. There's just some clips I threw together for this. I'm going to make him a video with all the clips that I have. All right. I think that's it. I don't have any more chat. I've covered all my topics. Well, I didn't cover the gas station, but I'll save it for next week. I've got a little culture segment that I want to do, but I'll save it for next week. Something fascinating that happens at the gas station. I purchased a home. When the home is ready, I'll invite you to stay with me for a month. Well, I have a place to stay, and I have a lot to do, but thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see how we can close this out. Let me go. Here we go. There's my outro. So thank you. Thanks for putting up with all these if you could see the rest of the studio, it's a disaster. I got boxes piled on top of boxes. I got cables everywhere. I've got no cable management over here I've got 2 computers, and it's a nightmare. But it's a beautiful day. So I'll see you next week. I'll see if I can get next week is dry run for guest host, and we should have a guest host next week as long as that camera comes in. And if that's the case, hopefully this will be a little bit more of a studio. So see you then. Ciao.
Hello.